Arriba, arriba! Comes to Africa!
Take 4 complete strangers. Ask each to host a dinner party.
Waiter!
There's quirky quaffing.
Cheers to cheese.
Cheese.
Colourful cooking. And secret scoring.
I am winning tonight!
As they clash for 10,000 Rand cash.
I'll see them outside.
This week we're in Johannesburg, a big city with a big appetite. What's on offer here then, eh? The amagwinya, delicious. And whoa, look at the size of that fat cook. Extra cheese on mine, please. Yeah, go on, get stuck in. Talking of mouthfuls.
To be or not to be?
Yes?
That is the question.
Is it? They've all gone home, fella. This week's first host is theatre actor and director, 47-year-old Greg Pettigrew.
It's 2 G's at the end of Greg, and then obviously there are 2 T's in the middle of Pettigrew. So crucial that that's right.
Little petty, Mr. Pettigrew.
I don't like to think of it as petty. I think a better word would be picky.
Greg Pettigrew.
My absolute worst is people that don't respect wine and wine glasses. Really annoys me. Aye, there's the rub.
Where?
So if you're going to pick up a wine glass, so you're aiming for the V between your fingers to hit the stem there and then to gently caress the bowl. The last thing you want to do is choke the wine glass at the top.
Heaven forbid.
I'd say I'm fussy about wine, but I wouldn't call myself a wine connoisseur. I would not put myself in that bracket. Under my breath, I'm kind of like, yeah, I can definitely taste the pineapple undertones. And in my head, I'm kind of thinking, who puts pineapple in wine? Really, how do you get pineapple?
I don't know what wine you've been drinking. Meet super stylish 33-year-old instructional designer and filmmaker, Shogun Naidu.
At home, you will see me in Velskuna, always digging in the garden. I'm the kind of guy that, I get fascinated with worms. Worms are my friends.
Oh, that's nice. Thoughts on humans?
The worst people to have around the table for me is the academic, pretentious artists. Just know it all and can never just be happy about something.
I think you better brace yourself. Good. In the kitchen, Greg with 2 G's is warming up.
Being an actor, my menu's inspired by characters from various theatre productions.
And first up, it's Les Miserables, Valjean's classic vichyssoise with Cossette's homemade cornbread.
Lights, camera, action.
For his vichyssoise, Greg preps veg.
At the end of the day, it is a peasant soup from France. I mean, it's potato and leeks, essentially.
But with a French name, it sounds hoity-toity. Greg sautés leeks and onions.
The aroma is divine. Vichyssoise is spelled V-I-C-H-Y-S-S-O-I-S-S-E, pronounced vichyssoise.
Vichyssoise is served with Cossette's homemade cornbread. I don't know what we are eating here. We're probably eating a lingerie.
That wouldn't have been my first guess. Third host is 44-year-old development manager Janet Satole.
I think I was born for showbiz. There is a divaliciousness in me. I've got that chutzpah that when I come into the room, everyone must get and feel.
Feel? We've only just met.
I love wine. When I pour my wine, it's my glass of happiness. I've never heard of a conversation that started with a cabbage, so many conversations start with wine.
Well, it's hard to argue with that. In the kitchen, Greg adds his spuds to the pan, tops with water, and a sprinkling of chicken stock powder. He then whizzes and whirls in cream.
Très magnifique.
Voila! The soup will be served chilled. Greg's next Showtime spectacular is dessert. Captain Von Trapp's citrus tart with zesty liqueur.
I mean, I actually have no idea what's going on here, right? There's a lot of, names in here.
It sounds like a movie. He was in a movie? Or it was a book?
Both. It's the sound of music.
I don't think Captain Von Trapp cooked anything in his whole life. Hopefully there'll be some singing involved. That's what I want. I want a little, what was that, good night?
Hello, no! Our final host is 29-year-old advertising accounts manager Kelly Emerton.
I don't know why I'm doing this. It's a terrible life decision, but I feel like I have to do something, put myself out there. I'm doing something different.
Yeah, jogging's pretty radical.
I actually had an EQ test at work the other day and I failed, or as they like to say, I have a lot of room for growth.
Polite way of putting it.
My friends would describe me as inappropriate. I don't have a great filter. I wasn't socialized as a puppy.
You were a puppy?
I'm gonna be so awkward.
Back with the host, Greg's on pastry prep. He adds sugar to butter, a little vanilla essence, and beets. Flours into the mix, and the dough is delicately placed in a dish. Oh.
And this is why you start this dessert early in the process.
Easy does it, Greg.
So the crust going in the oven.
Where it belongs until golden brown. For the lemon filling, Greg casually cups his sugar, cracks his eggs, and squeezes his citrus.
You can't cheat this tart. It needs to be made with fresh ingredients. You can't just go and buy lemon juice.
I wouldn't dream of it.
Not the same thing.
I entirely agree.
Always sift your flour just to get it nice and loose. It's like those old queens from the 80s, nice and loose. That's what we were.
Speak for yourself, fella. A quick whisk, a gentle pour. Steady now. And 20 minutes later...
Jawohl! Kapitein van Trop, citrus tart.
Yeah! It's into the fridge to chill. On to Greg's main act, inspired by the great bard. It's Tybalt's tenderloin medallion with whiskey-soaked grapefruit and a blue cheese sauce. Very Shakespearean.
Sure.
Sure, your go.
Sure. Okay, it sounds delicious.
Tybalt's tenderloin, I mean, is it his tenderloins?
Well, let's hope not.
They need to make my meat nice and pink. I don't like burnt meat.
They're not going to really have a choice. I'm not going to serve it rare because tenderloin shouldn't be served rare.
Oh, that's risky. Greg seasons his meat.
Which is a daka, which is a seed and herb mixture. This particular one is from Istanbul.
Of course it is. He then sears on a hot griddle.
The mistake that we make is we turn them all the time. I'm not going to touch those. 4 minutes sealed, other side 4 minutes sealed, and that'll be it. Not going to touch them.
So you're not going to touch them. Oi!
They're now going to rest until later this evening, and then they're going to go back into that pan and they're going to go under a hot grill.
For his garnish, Greg griddles whiskey-soaked grapefruit, and that's the prep done.
So, you know, I hope me guests are going to enjoy the meal that I've prepared for them tonight. 'Cause if they don't, love, I'll see them outside.
Greg, I'll do the accents, fella. Broadway is the dress code for tonight, so just time for a quick costume change, some final stage prep, and a full dress rehearsal by the looks of it.
Tonight I've decided to have a waiter, as it is a Broadway evening, so I thought I'd be authentic. Waiter!
Authentic's one word for it. Waiting in the wings is first guest, awkward ad manager Kelly.
Hi!
Hi.
Greg.
Kelly, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Kelly.
Hi.
Come in. Can I get you MCC to start off with?
I would love that, thank you.
There we go. Waiter!
He's sticking with it.
To the first line.
It's delicious.
Next to take centre stage is Divalicious Janet.
Hello.
Hello.
You look stunning.
How are you?
Hello, my darling.
I'm good. Good to meet you.
I'm Greg.
Janet. But you call me Miss J?
Miss J.
Miss J.
Waiter!
Oh my God, it's gonna burn. More wine, please. Monsieur Greg. By the way, I must tell you, I don't really wear high heels. But for today,
Today you
to
put
honor your theme,
You're a star.
Oh dear, no one around to help you with your tie. Completing the party is Shogun.
Good evening.
How are you?
Good and you, Greg.
Shogun, nice to meet you.
Hugger or non-hugger?
Complete hugger.
Like the minute I walked in, you could just see the sparkle in his eyes, and that's Broadway, right?
Yes.
Cheers. Do we do the eyes?
do the
Yeah, I think we do, yeah.
We did
don't
the
know
eyes.
the 7 years.
Let the show begin. With no need to warm his soup, Greg spoons straight into bowls. And it's ready. Valjean's classic vichyssoise with Cossette's cornbread.
Thank you. Merci.
Actually, this is a French soup, so merci is correct.
Exactly.
Oui, oui.
If I had to describe my vichyssoise, it was very vichyssoise. The soup was on point. The enigma around the name was on point. The plating, yeah, it was not vichyssoise.
It was nice. The soup was nice.
You don't sound sure.
I probably would have put a dash of chili in there, but it was delicious. I really enjoyed the soup.
Greg, this is really good. Well seasoned. Potato soup cold. This was my first time. But hey, nothing to write home about. It was just a cold potato soup.
I think the vichyssoise went down better than I anticipated. Shogun, I'm not sure really enjoyed it, but I think the two ladies seem to have loved it. They cleaned their plates.
Must have been hungry. For his main, Greg warms his pre-cooked tenderloins under the grill. Don't overdo them.
The grapefruit round completes the main act.
Tybalt's tenderloin medallion with whiskey-soaked grapefruit and a splodgy drizzle of blue cheese sauce.
Oh, thank you. Looks lovely, Greg. Thank you.
The wine that you're enjoying with this meal is a 2014 Shiraz, which, funnily enough, is an Australian wine.
Greg was going on and on and on about wine. I'm like, can you just drink this wine?
And you're going to find that it brings out all those rich chocolate and cigar box notes.
I thought I was a hashtag wine snob until I came here tonight. No, I'm just a hashtag wine appreciator, as in...
Steady.
And then combined with that beautiful blue cheese aftertaste.
Sip it.
Enjoy, guys.
Thank you.
Oh, finally.
Cheers.
I really do like my meat pink. I just couldn't finish it.
I thought the fillet was a bit overdone. I really like blue cheese, so I would have liked a bit more of the sauce. It was a little bit heartbroken. I had super high hopes.
Oh dear, Shogun.
Mine was very much a medium to well done. It's a little bit more tough than I would actually enjoy it, but really tasty overall.
Mixed reviews on the food, but Greg's got plenty more to say on the drink.
I love the fact that you're all using the stem.
So here's the thing, though, I have stemless glasses.
Stemless glasses are beautiful, but they are totally impractical for wine.
Are they?
They really are.
Oh.
It's going to be a problem. I have stemless wine glasses. He's going to be upset with me.
There comes a point when if someone's going to start correcting me on how I drink my glass of wine, I start to switch off.
If you sit with your hand on the bowl of your wine, you are warming it up.
Warm the...
Have I been doing it wrong all these years?
I actually hold it like this. I'm so glad Greg didn't see me because I'm like...
You're using your right hand, you're swooping in on the stem.
What happens if you're left-handed?
Well, then you use your left hand.
But then I'll look like a weirdo.
No, you won't.
She will, actually.
So the one that is not empty is Miss J. And I actually think that has more to do with the grapefruit than the meat.
Pretty sure it was the meat. For the final flourish, a drizzle of zesty liqueur and Captain Von Trapp's citrus tart is served.
Can I ring it? Oh.
Greg! Greg!
Hello, darling!
Hello, Greg!
Felicity Spitfire, so nice to meet you, lovely. Hi, darling. Come here. Anyway, I decided Greg was way more boring than me, so I thought I'd come and serve you the tart, because there's nothing like a tart serving a tart, is there?
That's tickled Shogun.
Darlings, I have paired this with the best little dessert wine. It's a very late harvest. In fact, it's so late it could be pregnant.
I love Felicity. She just completed the night. Awesome.
Now, for goodness sake, love, tuck into those tarts if you're not going to tuck into mine.
So the tart itself was tart and overwhelmingly sweet all at the same time. You know that, like...
Yeah.
Is that a bad... Just like, you know that...
Yeah.
That's what it tasted like. And it is tart and it's
The dessert was a bit too sweet for my liking. It was a bit too much for me.
The dessert was a little bit too zesty, but overall tasty.
Darling, I thought it went down an absolute treat. I think they were blown away. I think it was just fabulous. I mean, the dessert was divine. I think I'd give him a good solid 8, my darling.
Greg's hosting was amazing, but his steak was a bit overdone, which is why I'm scoring Greg a 6.
I love Felicity, but my meat was a bit of a letdown. For that, I'll give Greg a 6 out of 10.
Starters was delicious. Unfortunately, my mains was slightly overcooked. But Felicity, you brought the entertainment in the house. And for that reason, I'm giving you a 7.
So the food is panned, but Felicity gets rave reviews, earning Greg an opening night score of 19. Bravo! More! It's day 2 in Johannesburg, and even a wallop with a well-done steak couldn't burst Greg's bubble.
Potentially on my main course, I am going to be marked down a bit. I can live with that.
Smug face.
I'm secretly glad that my steak was slightly overcooked. It feels like I'm still in the game.
If there's meat tonight, I'm really hoping for a nice, pink, juicy steak.
Well, sorry to disappoint Janet. Kelly's cooking today, and she's sans steak.
So I don't need to worry about overcooking my meat because it's basically a vegetarian menu.
An Italian one, too.
You don't have to be an Italian to cook an Italian. You just have to do the hand movement.
And a tocca like this. Bruschetta with asparagus spears and prosciutto. Not totally veggie, then.
Italiana, we're eating with our hands tonight.
I don't know if there's much difficulty in this starter.
I would hope that the person is actually making their own bruschetta. I somehow doubt it. I think it will be bought.
You think wrong, my friend. Kelly is making her own ciabatta for the bruschetta.
So I've already made the sponge and now I'm going to make the rest of my dough.
She combines oil, water and flour with the sponge and activated yeast.
So hopefully everything will just work.
Fingers crossed. The dough is cut, prodded and doubted.
Doesn't look right.
Come on, Kelly.
It'll be fine, right? It'll be fine.
A sprinkling of positive thinking, salt, olive oil and sprigs of rosemary. And after a presto resto in the oven, it's pronto. Happy? I thought so. Kelly pan-fries asparagus, which she'll serve on the ciabatta later. Dessert is up next. A surprise chocolate cake.
Now we're talking. Surprise chocolate cake. I think that is a nice touch.
How surprising can a chocolate cake be?
So I'll be pretty surprised if it is chocolate souffle.
Oh, it's better than that. Aubergine!
It's made with aubergines. We literally just get all our frustrations out. Think about your mother-in-law.
You don't even know Maureen.
Just 8 minutes in the thingy.
Whilst the thingy does its thing, Kelly combines cocoa powder, almond flour, eggs, and a squeeze of honey. Next, a teaspoon of baking powder and a drop of brandy, and it's on with the mixing machine. She scoops the aubergine flesh and pops it in the whizzing machine with milk chocolate.
Shush. Oh, I should plug it in.
Well, it won't whiz without it. The chocolatey aubergine mix meets the chocolatey eggy mix and...
It smells like success.
Well, good, because it looks like mud. It's into the oven for half an hour. The cake will be served with mascarpone and berries. Final dish of the Italian feast is the main, gnocchi gorgonzola.
Why subject me to a no-meat evening? Really?
If your gnocchi is overcooked, it starts to become very doughy and spongy.
I'll be very interested to know whether she's making her own gnocchi.
She only ruddy is from scratch. She boils spuds in salty water and mashes them through a ricer.
It's working!
You got carried away, didn't you?
Okay.
She adds flour and an egg into the mash and sets to squishing.
Now we just roll it out and we make little clouds of happiness.
Followed by tubes of jubilation, then pillows of ecstasy. The gnocchi will be boiled later and served with a creamy cheesy sauce. Prep done. First to arrive is wine-loving thespian Greg.
Hi!
Hello, darling.
How are you?
Good news.
hope you don't mind, they're stemless.
Not stemless.
You've attended my dinner party where I've spoken from a highly educated perspective, and you decide in your wisdom to present me with a stemless glass.
He's still going to drink it, though.
The doctor ordered.
Good, I'm glad. It's an Italian champagne.
Oh, no.
Prosecco is not champagne.
Cheers to cheese.
Cheese.
Next in line to be schooled in wine, it's Shogun.
Shogun, how are you?
Good and you.
Here's some Italian champagne.
Stay calm, Greg.
How do I grab this by this thing?
No, well, you don't. You don't really. It means you drink it a lot quicker.
Touche.
Oh, Greg. Last to arrive to the Italian festa is Janet.
Miss J, how are you?
What's with the heels?
I'm really trying this thing of being a lady and wear heels.
Looking divine, my darling.
Felicity's got her eye on them. Kelly slices brie and pops on her ciabatta. She wraps her asparagus with prosciutto and adds. They're into the oven for a quick bake. Bellissima! The starter is bruschetta with asparagus and prosciutto and balsamic blobs.
Mr. G?
Thank you. Did you make your own bruschetta?
I did, so it's
Good girl.
But
You're determined to make me drink wine out of non-stemless wine glasses tonight, aren't you?
I'm so sorry.
Is the OCD coming out?
Just a little.
Don't be afraid to use your fingers if you want to.
I'm taking mine with hands.
No, I'm going to do a knife and fork. Sorry.
You do you, Pooh.
So this is how my bruschetta went down. Really value that she made the bread, but I think the bread was just a little bit too crispy.
It's a bit crunchy.
The starter was just delicious. I like the combination of the cheese. It all connected so nice. It just melted in the mouth.
and there it goes, look.
The starter, bland, is the word I would use. All I was getting was an extremely heavy crust on the bread, which you have to be careful not to chip a tooth. I can't even say it was average. I literally waded my way through one of them and I went, no.
Undecided then.
I don't know if he genuinely doesn't like it or if he's being a bit strategic. Maybe it's because he's threatened.
Lines drawn. Kelly moves on to the main. She boils the gnocchi, then scoops them into a puddle of blue cheese sauce. She tops with pears and the meat-free main is done. Gnocchi gorgonzola with a micro salad.
Greg, I want you to be happy.
Thank you, my darling.
So,
Thank you, my darling.
you get a stem.
The fact you put it in a stem glass, I'll ignore that it's a white wine glass.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
I'm sorry. I was like,
To stem or not to stem?
That is the question.
No, that is Greg's question.
I'm happy. I'm happy.
For mains, we had the gnocchi gorgonzola. I loved it. It was tasty. It was delicious. I was prepared to lick my plate.
I was really worried about no meat in the main. But I think I had an out-of-body experience. I really enjoyed it.
High praise indeed. Greg?
It was like mush in my mouth. It might as well have been mashed potato. And the gorgonzola, it's not a high-quality gorgonzola. You didn't get that pop of the gorgonzola cheese. But then not helped by the fact that I had Miss J sitting next to me, turning the fork like it was a shovel and slapping it on. And it's like, God, where's the etiquette?
All right, Greg. From etiquette to EQ. Good luck, everyone.
how would you rate yourselves on a scale of 1 to 10 with regards to your EQ? 10 being excellent and 1 being tone deaf.
If there's one conversation I never, ever want to bring up in dinner, it has to do with EQ.
I recently got the pleasure or displeasure of doing an EQ test. And I failed. She was like, you didn't fail, Kelly. You just have a lot of room for growth. And I was like,
I think you have a higher EQ than what you're giving yourself credit for. I really do believe that.
That's nice.
Deep inside that girl, there is a great understanding of people. I adore her. It's just a pity her meal is abysmal.
That's not so nice.
So I have a tough customer. Greg obviously wasn't the biggest fan, which is fine. And I'm most chuffed about Miss J. She really enjoyed it. And I feel like I've just converted her. So that was really exciting.
Just dessert to go then, and one last chance to win over Greg. With dollops of mascarpone cream, the surprise chocolate cake is served with berries and gold dust.
I'm pleasantly surprised about how you played at this. And what is the gold dust?
It's my great aunt's wedding ring.
What?
That I've...
Seriously?
No.
No, taken away. I'm taking this thing away with me.
So for me, the dessert was bone dry. Bone dry. It was like eating dust. It was an absolute disaster. I had 2 mouthfuls of cake. Yeah, dreadful. I'm going to go the surprise is that it's not moist.
Oh.
That's not very nice.
Chocolate dessert, 9 out of 10, it's always moist. So I'm going to go, that's the surprise.
So Kelly's dessert was a surprise. I'm not sure I appreciated the surprise. It was very dry.
Do you want to have a guess, Miss J?
Yeah, maybe let's check. Look under the table. There might be something. You get a chocolate. Everybody get a chocolate.
You liked it then?
Wow, dessert was truly an element of surprise. I think it was beautiful. I really enjoyed it.
Once again, we have a full plate. It's the same culprit. I just don't think he likes my cooking. So I'll be interested to see how he eats for the rest of the week.
Scores, please.
Kelly, you were an amazing host, but unfortunately your dessert surprise was dry and your starter was rock hard. And for that reason, I'm giving you a 6.
Kelly, I didn't know I could have such a beautiful main without any meat. It was such an out-of-body experience. And for that, I'm giving you a 7.
Kelly, tonight your starters were a disaster, your mains were mushy, and your dessert was bone dry. For that reason, I'm scoring you a 4.
Mamma mia! Greg's dismal 4 leaves Kelly last with 17. It's day 3 of the competition in Joburg, and a certain actor playing the part of food critic has Kelly reeling.
Greg. I find Greg quite difficult. I didn't find him particularly charming on my night. I think he's a bit bitchy.
Greg decided to eat his bruschetta with a knife and fork. It's almost like he intentionally was pointing out that the bruschetta was extra crispy.
Any defense, Greg?
I think all the criticisms I made last night are completely justified for what they were.
I think Greg is trying to use the fact that he is a food critic to justify why he's being mean. Food critic, schmood critic, I think.
Eloquently put. It's Janet's turn to host, and she's planning a culinary journey through Africa.
I'm so proud of my continent, the Africa continent. Tonight, that's what I'm bringing, journeying through Africa in style.
First stop is dessert, a chocolate pudding affair.
Sure. Well, isn't that a promiscuous dessert?
Eh?
Let's hope it's a bit more moist than last night's one was.
Chocolate pudding is amazing. I just hope it's not like what you get in hospitals.
Hospitals? Janet melts chocolate and butter till smooth.
This is the first time I'm actually baking. I've never baked in my entire life.
Well, you've nailed melting. Janet needs sugar and eggs.
Oh, we have a double. Wow, it's our lucky day. Ooh.
Time to do the yoki koki.
Now I'm confused. I don't know what happens if we have a double. Do I count it as 2?
Good question, actually. No idea.
Oh, we have another double. Yes, Seth. I am winning tonight.
Exciting times.
Now I'm confused, so which means it's 4.
She stirs the lucky quad and adds vanilla essence. Now to weigh flour.
I have my measuring jug here. We're doing 100 gram. A gram is the same as a meal.
Yeah, close enough.
Oh, this is interesting.
Melted chocolate goes into the mix. And it's poured into individual ramekins. She'll bake tonight.
Magnificent. Delicious.
2 almost words. Now for the main, peppered lamb racks with a creamy porcini mushroom samp and seasonal veg.
This sounds great. I would not have imagined that from Miss J.
I love lambs. That'll be amazing. I hate mushrooms.
A lamb rack needs to be rare.
So did your steak. Janet starts with her samp.
Think we can actually do a full spoon for Greg. I think you'll love it.
I'm not a huge fan of samp.
Something else for you to leave then. Next to Pepper, her lamb racks.
Where do I start?
Pepper, perhaps? She makes a paste with a mixture of spices, pepper and olive oil. Then massages into the meat. She makes little foil socks for the bones. Oh!
This is the French-African way.
She'll roast the racks before her guests arrive tonight. Back to the samp. Janet sautés porcini mushrooms and onions, spoons in the cooked samp, and finishes with cream.
Our own risotto.
And that's the main done. For her starter, Janet's heading to West Africa. Jollof calamari stack.
So I'm not too sure what jollof is.
What about jollof?
Some form of grilled method to cooking calamari.
Maybe it's a place? Maybe it's where the calamari is from?
Jollof is not a place or a museum. It's a West African dish. Spicy rice dish.
For the spicy rice, Janet blitzes red peppers and tomatoes.
Look at that.
Looking good. The puree's left to simmer while she fries onion, garlic and chilli. She adds curry powder, turmeric and a mix of spices. Then a flourish of uncooked rice.
People expect to boil rice, but with jollof, I've just fried it.
In goes her tomato sauce along with chicken stock and it's set to stew. Janet's Jolly Jollof will be served with calamari, which she'll fry tonight.
It's a winning one.
With high confidence, the cooking is complete. Janet's dress code for this evening is, unsurprisingly, a journey through Africa. Which, by the looks of it, has been totally ignored by her first guest, Kelly.
Hello.
Jay, you look beautiful.
Thank you. You look lovely. Can I have a nice drink? You look lovely. I think she could have done a little bit more, but I like the pens. Lovely.
I
love
can't
the
even
pens.
compete. You look exquisite.
Miss J looks like a queen, and I'm just like,
I am the queen of
queen.
Chakalaka.
I like it.
Cheers.
Cheers! Excess baggage in hand and ready to embark, it's Shogun.
Hello!
Welcome. Are you moving in?
I'm ready to go. You look stunning.
I love the touch of the suitcase. I think you picked up that I love traveling.
So I've got a surprise from my travels.
Sombreros? Not even close to Africa.
Those heads are not African. We're traveling Africa. Are you holding your glasses properly?
Sorry, hang on. I think I'm going to make a point of this.
Yeah, me too.
The whole night, I'm going to cup it from the top. I dare you. I dare you. I dare you.
Okay.
Take that.
Blissfully unaware, but wearing his crown, it's the king of glassware gripes, Greg.
Hello, darling.
Goodness, you look amazing.
So do you. Mwah.
Greg is wearing a flippin' caftan, like he looks amazing.
You look stunning.
Mwah.
Very jealous that he looks better than I do. On my travels to Africa,
Yes.
I stopped over.
You took a wrong turn.
Is there tequila to go with it?
I don't
Gonna clash with the beads, I tell you.
Don't worry.
Same color.
I've got a plan. We're swapping hats as well.
That's fine.
And Greg's outfits. Wow. I'm still trying to figure out from which part of Africa, but love it.
With spirits high, Janet's back in the kitchen. She fries calamari in butter and piles on top of her spicy rice. First stop on Janet's journey, jollof calamari stack.
Ooh la la. It's a West Africa dish and it's very spicy. But today, I tried not to make it as spicy as it usually is.
Consider it, eh, Greg?
The starter, I have to say the rice was absolutely divine.
He's impressed.
The calamari, however, had no colour, underdone, bland.
No, he isn't.
It was delicious. I really loved it. I'm not a fan of calamari, but it all came together. I loved it.
Very, very nice.
I feel like the jollof might have overpowered the calamari a bit, but I thought it was yummy.
With her jollof going jolly well, Janet's got a revelation. Her age.
I'm level 4.5.
No, you're not.
I am. And coupled with that, I'm a glammy. Bring it back, I'm a granny, but I call myself a glammy J.
Miss
I'm
J,
a
you
gorgeous,
lie.
delicious.
To find out that she's a granny and looking like that.
No, she doesn't have a single line on her face.
It's called makeup, love.
No.
No,
No.
Not
That's
yet.
called
This-
moisturizing.
I think Greg liked the food, but I think he's just playing the game because I don't understand why he didn't finish it. He was very complimentary. The next thing, Dololo. Hi, come on, hi, boo.
Plough on, Janet. Still 2 courses to go. She pops her meat in the oven, dances with her wooden spoons and fries spinach. And the main's ready. Peppered lamb racks with a creamy porcini mushroom sun and seasonal veg.
Oh, it's man portion there.
Really? But you don't finish your food, so
I know what you've done. I'm acutely aware what you've done. Don't worry, darling, I'm not going to finish this either. I'm fuming. I am so angry. Miss J has successfully turned what certainly could have been a really great evening into an evening of hell.
Yikes.
You've assumed that giving me a smaller portion is going to make me finish my food.
I know you're not gonna finish it, so I didn't wanna waste.
That does make sense. Wine, anyone?
We'll put on our Greg hats.
Okay, I'll put on my Greg hat.
Okay, cheers.
Let me do that with you, please. Come.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Sometimes trying to be funny is a very, very stupid idea.
Well, you know, Greg. Thoughts on food?
For mains, it was a little bit too pink for me, but the flavors were there, the vegetables there. It's a little bit red for me.
Sorry. Do you want me to put it back?
No, not at all.
So the main course, what I got to have of it, was full of fat and cooked to within an inch of its life. I have eaten Sam. It's not one of my favourite things. Having it done in this style is quite different. It's interesting.
I miss Felicity.
I love the lamb. I was super jealous that Shogun got the man portion and then Greg didn't eat all of his. And I was just like, give it to me, I'll eat it. And I was like, it's delicious.
So, Miss J, if I were a food critic, I would give you a 10 out of 10 for presentation. I'd have to be quite hoity-toity because this is my job now. I'm not eating for pleasure. I'm a professional.
Yes, girl.
Very good. You get a 4 out of 10.
No.
I'm a very difficult food critic.
That is uncanny.
Greg, as expected, it did not finish. But then he blames it that I did not actually give him the right portion. But I also did not give him the right portion because he never finishes his food.
I'd move on to dessert if I were you. Janet spoons a dollop of shop-bought ice cream onto her puds. Et voila, a chocolate pudding affair.
I've never baked before, so this is the first experience for me. On top of that, it's a bit of ice creamish.
Ice creamish?
But I
Is
wanted to
the
make
ice
it.
cream homemade or
No,
bought?
it's store-bought. I leave such things for the experts.
Dessert was lovely. She nailed chocolate pudding and it was very chocolatey. I just found it a bit sweet.
Dessert was tasty, but it was store-bought ice cream. I would imagine a competition at this level make the effort.
She baked for the first time ever.
Miss J's dessert, all the flavours were there and they all complemented each other. So I thought dessert was probably the best course of the evening.
Hurrah! How do you think you did, Janet?
Even though my lamb did not come to the occasion, but I think it was still good. So I think I'm getting an 8 out of 10.
Dessert was a bit sweet for my liking, but I absolutely loved the starters and the mains. And for that reason, I'm giving Miss J a 7.
My lamb was way too pink, and unfortunately the dessert did not hit the spot for me. And for that reason, I'm giving you a 6.
I found your rice to be quite divine, and your dessert I found some redemption in, and for that reason, I'm giving you a 5.
So, Janet's African journey fails to reach the final destination, and she lands just short with 18. It's the final day of the competition, and thoughts have turned to the scoreboard.
I think Greg is going to have scored everybody badly, but I think he will be at the bottom.
He's at the top.
I think Kelly might be leading. I think I'm right behind Kelly. Definitely not behind Greg.
I just don't want Greg to win. So bad of me.
A bit. The final shot at knocking Greg off the top spot falls to Shogun, and he's taking aim with an Eastern-inspired menu.
My food, it rests in the Eastern traditions. I fused that with a whole lot of cuisines that I've come across over the years. I think it reflects who I am.
Shogun starts with dessert, a cardamom creme brulee.
I hope it's not rice, pudding, creme brulee type.
Creme brulee is my favorite, but I know that it's Greg's favorite dessert, so I imagine he's going to be hypercritical of it.
He doesn't realize how critical I am of this dessert.
He's got a good idea.
I can't wait to see his face when he finds out about this.
So I'm gonna go with 10. Let's just put 2 extra for Greg.
Shogun infuses cream with cardamom and vanilla, and then separates eggs.
Sure. So I mean, that was just separating the eggs, but first feat achieved.
It's going to be a long day. He adds sugar to the egg yolks, strains the cream, and gently mixes together.
So what I'm doing here is I'm using the serviette to get rid of any air bubbles. Could you imagine someone says their custard tastes like a serviette? I'll just say that's my secret ingredient.
He pours into ramekins and dabs a little more.
Hello, girl. I think my dog is trying to tell me that I'm running out of time.
Well, a dog's nose knows best. The brulees are baked and then left to chill. He'll top with sugar tonight. Onto the starter, chicken tikka with mint raita.
So I think the raita is probably roti.
Raita is like a sauce, I think. Mint raita.
And the spicing on that has to be perfect.
Shogun marinates the chicken in garlic and Kashmiri spices.
So the thing with Indian recipes, when they say 1 teaspoon, what they mean is like max it out.
Spice to the max! He adds fresh lemon juice and rubs it all in. And while the chicken marinates, he moves on to the tikka. Splodges of yogurt, heaps of spice, chickpea powder, and to give it that authentic tone, food colouring.
It says a pinch, but I'm gonna be generous. I mean, if we're gonna colour it, let's make it insane. That's quite red. Maybe I should have put a pinch of food coloring. Damn, it's gonna be insanely red.
Glow-in-the-dark radioactive red, more like. Still, Shogun gets stuck in. Yeah, that's gonna stain, you know. Shogun skewers the crimson chicken to be cooked later. He'll serve with mint raita. Onto his main, lamb sag.
Looks like it's the battle of the lamb. Let's see.
I imagine it's going to be really well spiced and delicious.
Yeah, he's going to bombard our senses with some really nice spices tonight.
That's the aim. He browns lamb with ghee and bay leaves, and then sets aside to move on to his spicy spinach sauce.
The essential ingredient in lamb sag is spinach.
Yes, a whole load of it. He cooks the leaves with tomato, onion, and spices. Some assistant you are. The spicy spinach is smooshed until smooth. The browned lamb and spinach are combined, followed by a good glug of cream. And that's the cooking complete.
All right, I think I'm done. And as the name suggests, I am ready to show them my gun.
And also his dress code.
It's Eastern, so we're definitely going to India tonight.
And first to arrive, it's the one everyone wants to beat, hypercritical Greg.
Shogun, how are you?
Welcome the Orient.
He looked immaculate. That outfit is divine.
Off to a good start.
Can I interest you in a G&T?
We had gin and tonics as our welcome drink. Not really Eastern.
It ruddy is.
To the last night.
Sure, to the final night indeed.
Next to the Garden of Easton, it's Kelly. Mind the grass.
Wow.
Hello.
Well, hello to you.
Hello to you. I tried to be very colourful, which isn't me. Cheers.
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 Bringing even more colour to proceedings is final guest Janet.
How are you? Good.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So, Shogun,
Yes.
I have to ask, what's going on there?
Looks like some Tico on those hands.
I did warn you. The chicken is grilled.
Yo! It could be dry, but it is goddamn red.
But how does it taste?
I think I left it in too long. That's dry.
Oh dear.
So I'm going to try and salvage this dry chicken. I'm going to do very thin slices, and then the wetness of the polenta and the raita will just take it all the way.
Quick thinking. Slivers of luminous dried chicken tikka with polenta and mint raita. Enjoy.
Please take a seat where you see your name.
Ah, this is the one.
Fantastic, Greg.
Thank
Does
you.
the name have to be spelt right in order to take the seat?
No.
2 G's on the end.
Where's that green pen?
Before we had even sat, he had complained about his name. And I mean, I'm sorry, but I would have spelled Greg, G-R-E-G as well.
It drives me absolutely insane.
Really?
So you are right now, you are not happy.
I'm not happy. Not happy at all.
And then Greg got very angry. I saw him changing, like poof. It changed, he was like red.
If you're going to do something where you are going to write people's names down, then you make the effort to make sure you get it right.
Anyway, how's that chicken?
I expected explosion of spice, flavors, and all I received was just red chicken.
The chicken for me was so thinly sliced that it couldn't be anything but tender. Beautifully presented, but on the palate, extraordinarily bland. I think for a tikka, it's very, very mild.
You wanted that little bit of a punch.
Well, just a little one. Janet has a cooking confession.
When I cook, I don't taste my food.
Never
Really?
I just
Yeah,
said.
no, I really do not taste my food. If I do, it would be right at the end.
Did you not taste your calamari last night?
No,
No.
Oh dear.
not
Why?
Just curious. Very
Why
curious.
do you wanna give me feedback?
Not at all.
Okay.
I think he just did. On with the main. Shogun microwaves poppadoms to serve with his curry. And here it is, lamb sag with rice, a poppadom and a tomato and onion salad.
Thank you. You're serving standard long grain white rice with this.
I am. So,
Not basmati?
no.
Why you would choose to use long grain white rice is beyond me. I just think that was an enormous mistake.
And then there were mains. There was just a disconnect with the seasoning. For the first time this week, I had to actually ask for salt. You won't be offended if I ask for salt, please?
For salt?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Not at all.
Thank you.
Someone's enjoying this.
So the main for me tonight was the best dish of the night, packed with flavour.
Know where this is going.
The lamb for me was slightly tough.
Yeah, thought so.
Greg, I don't know if there was punch in here.
Do you know what one should never do as the host of a dinner party?
Do it like this.
Ask Greg.
You should never fish for compliments.
This is true.
So I'm not going to answer your question.
Suit yourself.
Honey, I am a diva.
We hadn't noticed.
For mains, it was by far my best meal of the week. I literally ate off Greg's plate. He was mortified. But that man doesn't eat anything, so it was going to waste.
Once again, hardly anything's been touched. I'm starting to find Greg to be a little bit mean. I'm not getting warm vibes, and it's very difficult to host food to someone that is just not accepting of it.
Chin up, fella. It's his favourite dessert next. Shogun sprinkles sugar and drizzles rum over his brulees.
I think it's time to get this party lit.
Might take a while with that little thing. Final course of the week is Shogun's cardamom creme brulee.
For dessert, we're having creme brulee. The little difference to the classic creme brulee is that I've added cardamom pods.
It's not that unique.
It's not that unique.
It's not
but
traditional.
You're not helping, Kelly. Look at him.
So my favorite part of a creme brulee is to go and to hear that crackle. And I went, and it went.
Ooh.
Sorry, Shogun, but I smiled when I actually could not crack the creme brulee. I was like a big failure. But what was quite interesting is that Greg's one actually cracked. I was like, wow.
The creme brulee, the inner was runny and very much tasting still of the egg, and the cardamom was non-existent.
Dessert didn't go as I expected.
The mains was absolutely delicious, but unfortunately the dessert let him down. So for that reason, I'm giving Shogun a 6.
Shogun, there was no spice. For that reason, I'm giving you a 6.
Shogun, your main had some fantastic flavors. Your dessert was a disaster. And when it came to hosting, I think nerves got the better of you. For that reason, I'm scoring you.
Hold it right there! Shogun needs a 7 from Greg to tie for first place. I think we all know where this is going, but let's find out together!
No.
Hello.
Look what I have for us.
Aha.
All right, guys. In last place, we have... It's me, Shogun.
Aww.
It's a pleasure having you guys over.
Thank you, Shogun.
And in third place, we have Kelly.
Thank you.
And the winner is Greg.
Come in.
Greg scored Shogun a 4, of course.
Now bring the champagne!
It feels fantastic to win.
I bet it does.
Divas forever, baby.
Yes, darling. I'm quite excited about coming second. I thought I was actually gonna come last.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It didn't quite go my way, but I would do Come Dine With Me again and again and again until I win.
Is he allowed to do that?
I don't think Greg deserved to win. I'm scared.
Shut up.
Don't make me say I told you so. Don't make me say